So here we are talking about the Backwards by Design chapter by Wiggins and McTee. Question 1, identify and briefly describe one important concept, research finding, theory, etc. That you learned from this reading. This isn't my first experience with backwards design. Remember we talked about this in one of Nadine's classes when it comes to lesson planning. Like for many things with me, I liken this to sports, and I go, a good coach is one who looks at their players and goes, how can I put them in a place to be successful? Not, I have my system, and my system must work, and they either got to fit in or they're out kind of thing. Either shape up or ship out. And I think it's very much similar to that with teaching. I like this idea of, I think this class is going to be a lot about purpose. You know, we using assessment, and that relates to my question, why I want to learn how to do effective assessment, is this learning how to have consistent purpose in what we're doing, not just like those two, the twin sins or whatever, talking about activity isn't the learning, right? We want to understand the meaning, and so that kind of thing of how can we be purposeful in everything that we're doing, and it's tough, right? And the second one was the coverage, right, of the twin sins, making sure that we're covering all our topics, and I think that's tough. Sorry, I'm getting off topic, but I'm ranting. I think that's tough with the way our curriculum is set up, right? Isn't there like something like over 1,000 outcomes for grade 3 or something like that? That means we got to be hitting like 4 outcomes a day. It's unrealistic, but like we talked about, we're shifting to something that's more broad, which I think is good. Number 2, why do I believe this concept research is important? Like I said before, I think it's about purpose, right? I don't think it's important that we cover the whole curriculum. Well, it sounds bad. It is, but I don't think that's the main thing. The main thing is that learning is taking place, right? And this whole thing of teaching and learning are different things, and our teaching needs to be secondary to students' learning, right? We need to put their learning needs first and tailor our teaching to fit that. How can you apply this to your teaching practice in the winter semester? One thing that I've been thinking about with this, and that I'm in one of my English classes that I'm doing, is we have a pre-test, and I kind of like that, as strictly as a formative assessment thing, like to see where everybody's at. And so I wonder if that's something that I could incorporate in, where I am testing my kids and quizzing them first on a topic before we start about it, to see what they know, and then also have some chance for them to feedback to see where they're interested, and things like that. Because again, we want to give them ownership, right? We talked about that in the individual development course with Jody a year or two ago, or last fall, I think it was. Like how do we empower and give students ownership? What questions has this reading raised for you? I think, I don't know if I have new questions. The one thing that I keep coming back to is, how do we get away from this? It feels like, and again, it's tough, right? Because we don't have students that we're working with consistently, so we're doing a lot of theory, but it's this whole thing of this is how we teach, this is how we teach. But it's tough to teach this because we don't have students that we need to accommodate for their learning needs, right? So I guess I'm wondering ways that we can get more practical in our class, and in preparing. Maybe we have assignments where we say these are your learners, or I don't know, something like that. But it's I'm wondering how I can practice and how I can be prepared to do this when everything that I'm learning in school is theory based without students, right? How can I accommodate their needs when they don't exist? So yeah.